I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great day in the world? We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little, we're not, Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some...
You heard that right. Dana White is hosting a UFC event at the White House, the capital of America, on the front lawn, which, take it as you will. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but one thing I will say is it's going to be crazy. So I took it upon myself to build a UFC White House card, a whole main card, which I think is pretty stacked. It has some championship fights, some big names. I want it to be a card to remember, so I got 5 fights here, and if the UFC can pull off these fights, it'll be one of the biggest cards of the century, maybe. The first fight I have on this card is Nickal versus Petroski. Is that how you say his name? Andre? I don't know, the middleweight dude. But this card's going to be next year, so there's going to be a little bit of nuance and guesswork, but I think Bo could get a rebound win before this and then fight Petroski here on the July card. But anyways, Bo versus Petroski. We know Petroski's not, like, his striking is not there, and he has okay grappling, but obviously his grappling is not going to be as good as Bo's. And they should set up Bo for a real nice win. A huge American prospect. Comes from an American wrestling background, born in Texas. And Petroski's American too, but Bo is also one of Donald Trump's favorite fighters. You know, he golfs with him, wrestled at the best wrestling school in the country, world renowned. He's just a true all-American, always repping the red, white, and blue. And I think he's a perfect candidate to throw on this card. Again, hype prospect, and he needs a rebound, get back in the win column. So I think Bo versus Petroski, not only does it bring name value, but it's also just going to be a fun fight. Should be some good scrambles. My next fight on the card, I got Colby Covington versus Gilbert Burns. Again, Colby Covington is an all-American fighter, always repping the flag, friends with Donald Trump's favorite fighter, allegedly, which I don't think he is, but him versus Burns is a perfect matchup to make. They're both old and washed. They've been in the top 5 for how long? They're not in there anymore, but they used to linger in the top 5, never fought each other. This fight has needed to happen for a while now. Now's the perfect time. Why not throw it on the UFC White House card? Burns is also an American citizen. He loves the country as well. But again, Colby just bleeds red, white, and blue. He's one of the most patriotic American fighters there is. Both him and Bo, always carrying the flag. They love Trump. And I think Trump will be able to get him on here. But as far as the matchup goes, Burns versus Covington, again, it should be some good grappling exchanges. And on the feet too, it's pretty even. You know, Burns doesn't really have the striking acumen that he used to. And Covington should sell his volume and cardio style, but I really want to see how this one plays out, to be honest. Covington needs a win too. Maybe he'll have a fight before this with Chiesa or something, then he can go into a Burns fight, something of that nature, but I really want to see him versus Burns. That's one of my dream matchups, and why not make it now before time runs out? So we'll throw that on the White House card. That would be a massive fight. And then for the featured fight, this one's going to be a little nuanced. It could either be for a championship belt or contender, 5-round featured fight as well. But I got Holloway versus Tsarukyan. Again, Holloway, all-American. He's from Hawaii. And Tsarukyan's like pretty much a Russian. So it's the American versus Russia plotline. Same with Bo versus Petroski. Both American versus Russian. I know Armin's Armenian or whatever, but he might as well be Russian. Holloway's going to beat Dustin Poirier. And Ilya's obviously close to a title shot. So I think if Max beats Poirier, the next fight for him is going to be Armin Tsarukyan. And obviously Max is fighting here later in July, so he might have to set out and wait. But this could either be for a vacant lightweight title if Ilya moves up, or for a number 1 contenders fight. But either way, this fight will be fireworks. You know, Max has way better cardio than Tsarukyan, way more volume, but Tsarukyan obviously has a wrestling advantage, probably the physicality. But I think Holloway can get this one done. His takedown defense is pretty good. Again, he's not going to gas like Tsarukyan does. Tsarukyan always gasses in the 4th and 5th. We saw that in the Gamrot fight. And who doesn't love a Holloway fight? Imagine a Holloway fight, a Holloway masterclass on the White House lawn, like blood flying everywhere. That would be sick. I think Holloway could style on him too if he can defend the early onslaught. So who knows? I think this one's got to be on the card to make it historic. Next up, we got Dominic Reyes versus Magomed Ankalaev for the light heavyweight championship of the world. USA versus Russia. This fight would be insane. If Dominic Reyes gets another win, I think he's going to be up there in talks for a title shot. I don't see anyone beating Ink, to be honest. So this fight is very realistic and fitting in the timeline for UFC White House. I don't know what number it is, but Reyes versus Ink would be a classic. Like, if Reyes gets his confidence back with another knockout, continues improving, he's going to be a problem. We know Ink actually has good striking too. Obviously has good grappling, but this fight is going to be good. I could see Reyes catching him, to be honest. He gave Jones a big fit, but Jones also doesn't have the power that Ankalaev has. Probably not as big either when he was a light heavyweight. Jones is much more technical, so this one's honestly a toss-up. I could see Reyes getting chinned, but I could also see Reyes chinning Ankalaev. Certainly stuffing the takedowns, keeping it on the feet, and taking one for the team. And then for the main event of UFC White House, this one's a no-brainer. I got McGregor versus Chandler. Literally right before I started filming, I looked at my phone and McGregor made an Instagram post with him and Chandler in the White House lawn. This is the fight to make. Chandler's All-American. McGregor's the biggest star in UFC history, and he's good friends with Donald Trump as well. There will be a guaranteed knockout, 100%. They're both probably chinny at this point. We know Mike's chinny. Connor's probably chinny. They both have pretty good power. Someone's getting slapped on the White House lawn. And if Conor McGregor can get a comeback win and a highlight knockout reel, bro, that would be insane. So that was my card for UFC White House. If you have any fights that you think I missed or should be on the card, let me know in the comments. But if you're still here, I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.